Putting together a professional portfolio is a requirement of this course. As you know, this is the Senior Journalism Capstone course. So there are two things we'll do toward the end that will help satisfy your graduation requirements. One will be to complete your journalism project for this class, your main project, and post that either on your senior portfolio, your professional portfolio, or on a separate website and link it to your professional portfolio. So this professional portfolio is an element that when you submit it for a grade in this class, we also use it to evaluate your work overall. There's also an exit exam, which will happen at the end of the course, and that's just a short, sort of a survey of some content, some knowledge that we expect every student who graduates to have a basic understanding of. So it's a pass-fail sort of situation, credit, no credit, and we'll do that in class and talk more about that as our course draws to a close. And the point of all this is so that you can graduate, right? I love graduation. As we're talking about portfolios, I want you to think about, I realize that everyone in this class is not headed off to a traditional newsroom. And so we do know that a number of people who graduate with journalism degrees end up in all manner of content creation jobs. So it doesn't have to be a traditional journalism job. It might be social media content, might be PR, communication, something unrelated. The idea is that these skills translate across many, many professions. And so your portfolio should reflect the type of work you can do. And that's one of the advantages to having a degree in journalism, is that we actually produce content that people can see and you can show off when you go to look for an internship or a job. Of course, thinking about your resume and your cover letter, that's a part of it. Career Services offers a variety of services that both students and even after you graduate, you can access these. So do think about that, resume and cover letter review. They even do mock interviews. Internship information is available at Career Services, also on the SJMC website, but don't limit yourself just to the resources that live in the Texas State webverse. Think about other universities and schools that also post internship information and job resource information. So, it's all open to the public. So, check out another school. Check out CUNY and see what they're posting. Journalismjobs.com is the #1 place that journalism grads go to look for jobs and journalists who are working. Again, this is journalism jobs, so most of the jobs on here really are journalism jobs, but there are jobs sort of just related to journalism, so other content creation jobs. So definitely worth checking out. The disadvantage to journalism jobs is it is the most popular site. So oftentimes, because everybody goes there, as you might expect, sometimes the jobs are filled quickly. So it's one place to look, but also your network, the people that you network with, really are your best source. If you belong to a professional organization, there may be job boards there. So the NAHJ, National Association of Hispanic Journalists, their job board is actually open to non-members. So many organizations that's not the case, but on NAHJ, you can check their job boards regardless of whether you're a member. And LinkedIn, also another good place. So I hope you have a LinkedIn account. And you'll see that Emily Ludenstowski is actually one of our alums. So she always posts information about jobs. And so many people who are on LinkedIn and people you would be connected with will be posting jobs that they are familiar with in their organization or that their friends and colleagues reach out to them about. So think about LinkedIn. Also think about just how you're selling yourself in your resume. So I've got some assigned readings that I think are kind of interesting. Sometimes we think we should leave things off of our resume and off of LinkedIn that are not specific to our profession, but in fact we learn a lot from jobs that aren't specific to our profession, especially as you're starting your career. So consider keeping some of those things on there. Also, be sure that you've got those hard skills, the types of tools and tech that you'd potentially learn while you're in school. So video editing, social media, data viz, AP style, of course, things like that. If you are fluent in another language, if you read music, those are all hard skills. And then thinking about soft skills. In journalism, we don't mention soft skills as much on our resumes because we do have so many hard skills that we can list. But you can list things like leadership, time management, team building, those sorts of things. On your resume, do be consistent with design. Think about your resume as both conveying information about you, just sort of as a list, but also realize that you're hoping to attract people who are interested in you, who do care about content and design. So if your resume is poorly designed or is just sort of messy, that's going to reflect on you. Also, this is something I see more often than I should, is remember that your dates, as you list items on your resume, it should be from current to oldest. So the first item should be the most current, moving down to the oldest, especially when it comes to work history. So, like I said, I see that more often than I should. I see it in reverse order. So you really need to put the most current thing first because, of course, that's what's going to attract somebody's attention. I hope that your LinkedIn profile is up to date. That's something else that I know. Oftentimes I'm searching back for people when I get a notice about a job posting or something, and I'm trying to see where people are, and I'll send out some personal notes. I hate it when I look on there and I see somebody still says they're a student at Texas State University when in fact I know they've graduated several years ago. So do make sure that you update your title, even if it's just that you're looking for a job, and then keep your jobs and your experience up to date. Really important because people will look there regardless of whether you think you're on the market, right? Is that, I may mention your name to somebody and they'll go check you out on LinkedIn before you even send in a resume. All right, let's get down to portfolios. I want you to think about this portfolio serving you, right? So it is about this class, of course, but it really is about what you need from your portfolio. So you can use any portfolio site. I've listed a number of them on Tracks, but you can use just a basic WordPress or a Wix. You can use a site that you code, or you can use some of the portfolio sites that are also out there. For this course, your online portfolio must have your resume. I would not put as much personal information on there, like your address and your phone number. You might just have your resume and your name and your email. But you need work samples, including the final project for this class. Links are preferred. If you have only PDFs of some things, you can include those, but definitely links if you've got them. A short profile of who you are, an about page. Social media links, because that's always important, right? We really have to, just about every place we would go to work is going to care about your social media. And then contact info, however you want that to be, whether it's just an email, or whether it's a phone number, or whether it's a form you fill out. So those are the elements that you need for your portfolio. And when we're talking about work samples, think 8 to 10 clips maybe. And these should include, the title, it should include the date and the publication. Like I said, we definitely prefer links, the URL, but if you must put in a PDF, that's fine. Just make sure that it has the publication information. And you should look at a variety of styles of writing, your best work, of course, but show your versatility. Show that you can do different types of stories. Use videos, use images, right? Show that your skills go across the spectrum. Like I said, there are a number of different templates. Make sure that if you're going to use a site like WordPress, make sure that you're using a template that looks professional, that sort of fits the content of your portfolio. And now I've got some links on here, and they're on Tracks, and I want you to look through some of the professional portfolios that I've provided and see what you like. Look at the portfolios of professionals and see, you can sort of cherry pick elements that you like, and you can also identify items that you don't like and things that you would like to avoid. So I've listed a few of them for you. So John Hernandez graduated recently. Ernest Macias is working in New York at Interview Magazine. He's got a fairly robust LinkedIn page. Kelsey Bradshaw, who's at The Statesman, was a star editor a few years back, also keeps her LinkedIn profile up to date, and she uses Muckrack for her portfolio. Muck Rack is actually run by a PR organization, but they give free portfolios to journalists, so that's worth checking out. This is a journalist that uses a pretty simple, straightforward portfolio that updates with some of her recent work. Don't put all of your work on there. Don't have all of your work constantly going to your portfolio because you really want to be able to pick your best work. This is a particularly nice portfolio. It's a professionally done website. It's a visual professional, of course, but anyway, it's just kind of a fun site to check out. You can tell when you look at this portfolio that Gary Phillips is all about sports. So some things work on this, some things, are okay. But think about the message you're trying to convey with your portfolio. This is a portfolio of a former student, and she's probably updated it since I took this screenshot. But when you look at this portfolio, she's highlighting some specific things. One of the items she has, one of the links she has is feminist. She and I talked about when you post something that's sort of particular to an area of interest, that employers may look at that and make a decision based on that. So we said, are you good with that, with putting that there and letting people see that being one of the first things they see? And she absolutely was, because she was looking at working in sort of non-traditional media, so that works just fine. A few other last minute things. Do you have business cards? Is your Twitter handle on your business card? Do you have an elevator speech, that sort of 30-second pitch that if you were to meet somebody in an elevator, you could tell them this is who you are? Do you have your electronic clips handy and ready to go? So basically your portfolio site, is it ready to go so you could just give somebody a link to your work? Is your resume on your portfolio site, and do you also have a PDF version that you could easily email if somebody just wants your resume? All of these items, except the business card, of course, you're not going to put that in your elevator speech on your resume, but your elevator speech may sort of be your about me page. But having these items ready to go, very important, because you never know when that job will present itself, an opportunity. So you're looking for a job, the portfolio is going to help you get there, and aside from all of that, it's going to help you graduate. So make sure that you've got the attention to detail and that you pick a theme that works for you and the message you're trying to convey.